While looking out upon the Aralar Mountain range from Goierri, we find ourselves face to face with the imposing summit of Chindoki, or Laruari. This beautiful mountain will serve as our gateway into the park of Aralar, where we'll discover its hidden secrets. For example, its mountains, born from coral reefs. Around 120 million years ago, the site of what is now the Aralar Mountain Range was an enormous coral reef under a shallow sea full of a rich biodiversity of seaweed, corals, and fish. The accumulation of skeletal remains of huge colonies of coral and other living things formed enormous limestone masses measuring up to 3,000 meters in thickness. Approximately 40 million years ago, when the Earth's plates collided to form the Pyrenees mountain range, Aralar as well was forced up from the ocean floor. The rain, ice, and wind eroded away the Aralar mountain range, giving it the present form we know today, and creating, among other marvels, spectacular karstic formations. Rainwater, thanks to the CO2 it contains, works to slowly dissolve the limestone, forming networks of caves, sinkholes, subterranean rivers, and water currents. In other words, a karst landscape. The cave of Mendukilo is an example of this karstic phenomena. It's situated in Larraun, in the township of Astis, and it can be visited. In the Arritzaga gallery of this cave, they found remains indicating that sheep herders used it since the beginning of the Iron Age. But that's another story that we'll learn about in the next section. Herding in Aralar is an ancient occupation. There are indications that this activity has been practiced for thousands of years. Those first herders left us clear testimony of their presence by way of megalithic monuments like dolmenes, menhirs, and cromlechs. One of the most spectacular and well-conserved is the dolmen of Jentillarri that was discovered in 1879. According to a legend collected by the Basque ethnographer Berdea, the last of the pagans came here to die after the arrival of Christianity. A long time ago, meanwhile the pagans danced in the fields of Arganchavaleta, they discerned on the horizon a strange cloud that was nearing. Frightened, they began their escape, and upon arriving at Arastaran, they sought refuge under rocks called Jentillarri. But there are still more signs that indicate that herding was practiced in Aralar a long time ago. For example, the Seles, or Saraoyak. Hundreds of years ago, the first grazing pastures were created by clear-cutting circular patches in the forest. In later centuries, the wood cut in this way was used to make natural charcoal. Originally, they were located one next to another, forming a network of pasture land in the forest. Many still remain today. At the moment, around 65 herders of Lacha sheep have their herding shacks, or mahadas, distributed through the Aralar mountain range, where they live during the months that the cattle is up in the mountains. Know what? Until just a short while ago in Aralar and other nearby mountain ranges, there pastured only cows and the occasional pig. Sheep are just recent arrivals. Normally, the sheep herder takes his herd up to Aralar at the beginning of May. During the spring and until the end of June, the herder milks the sheep twice a day, then makes and ages cheese in his shack. Between the celebrations of San Juan and San Pedro, the herders shear their sheep. Toward the middle of August, the mating season begins. In autumn, with the first frosts, the herds are brought down to the valley and put into stalls where the baby lambs are born. Let's leave the sheep herders to their work, and let's get to know some other beautiful routes that Aralar offers us. There are many trails, walks, and sites that you can enjoy in Aralar. For example, Lisarrusti Center. In the park's Information and Reception Center, they'll explain to you what can be found in the Natural Park of Aralar. Arritzaga Gorge. Entering into Aralar from Amezquita, we'll head for the Arritzaga Gorge. You'll enjoy the hike and a refreshing surprise. Route of the Dolmens. In the heart of the Aralar Mountain range, you'll find various trails that allow you to contemplate dolmens, menhirs, and a beautiful landscape. All this and much more awaits you in Aralar.